Now we're going to get qualifying underway, baby. It's round 4 of the 21st, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th season of JL. I don't even know which season of JL it is, but either way, qualifying begins here at Friesland. So it's your boy, the South African thing. You get me? I'm back in comms once again, and we're on board on my screen with Kazil. I think it's actually better for me to watch Soltari's screen, actually, just to see the action that is going on. But on board with Sunday Driver, we've got a few new drivers this weekend. We've got Laguno driving in the Dinoco. You've got Go 14 in the Dinoco making his return. But at the end of lap one, I think on my screen, I see Bob, who's looked fantastic this week. In pole or on pole currently with Laguna on his debut in second. Of course, Laguna, UMRL champion before, and not just a one-time champion, just by the way, one-time mention. Laguna makes a small mistake. Bob, we're on board with him as he's done a purple in sector one, but has a bit of a sluggish sector. The lap is still not over. Grimsville has looked strong this weekend too. In the other Sparta, of course on course to secure the constructors themselves. And Grimsville sets a 0.8 again. Oh no, he's actually set a 0.57. So Grimsville in front ahead of Bob, Laguna, Kozil, Kuczynski, Phoenix. You've got Sunday, you've got Mathagil, you've got Go, you've got Jura, you've got the debutant Scabby, you've got Galprad, you've got Mika to Mika, and you've got Axis. As now the grid heads towards the final laps. Gwemsveld with purple in sector one, green in sector two. Kuczynski, I saw, made a mistake. Gwemsveld still on a good lap. Bob maybe can do something special here. It's not going to be a good lap for Bob, but Gwemsveld, Kuczynski, Gwemsveld has taken pole here at Friesland. He whips Bob by 100th of a second there. Sparta once again with a 1-2. Probably on course to break the points record at this rate with the way that they're doing. We've got Laguna in third place, Kazil in fourth, Mika up into fifth on his final lap. Then you've got Jura in the Alfa Romeo in P6. Then it is Kuczynski in the 8-star in seventh, ahead of Go 14. I might have actually got that wrong. I think. Yes, no, it is Go 14 ahead of Sunday Driver. Phoenix, Scabby in 11th, Athagil in 12th, Galprad in 13th, and Axis 15th. Interesting. And now we've got a 50% rain race, the first in history in the leagues of UR2D2. This should be fascinating, I think. It should be fascinating because for many drivers, this is unknown territory. 50% means very volatile weather, but it also means there's a strong chance of heavy rain. There's a strong chance of interrain. I think intermediates might be the play for a lot of drivers, but some drivers might use some periods to put on soft tires, maybe gain an advantage before it rains, or maybe gain a tire advantage before the rain hits. So it's all to play for. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm debating which screen to actually look at because it is a little bit laggy on the stream. It is a little bit laggy. So I think let's see. I might switch from the screen to the game occasionally. It has set the settings, 27 laps of action, and I'm already running out of breath. So let me just calma. Let me just calma. Yo, Bituko. Whoa. If I'm correct, that's Grimsville's, I think, second pole position of the season, right? Because I think last week was Bob. Or was it the third? Race is about to get going. Some drivers probably fitting on some intermediating, but clouds are going to come out. It's currently sunny. Most drivers on softs. It's just Kozil, Jura, and Axis who've gone into the intermediates as we get underway. Phoenix on the mediums as well. Grimsville with a good start. Bob in second. Mika up into fourth. Once again, having a strong start. Laguna lagging. And surely that's race over already for the debutant. Not the best of starts for him. He looked so good this weekend, and now it's just gone so off for him. So, Sun coming back out. Those on intermediates might not profit from it, but Jura still up in fourth. Sparta 1-2, Mika chasing after them just like last week and Bob down the inside of Gwemsvale. Of course, Sparta could win the constructors this weekend. Axis up into 12th, Kazil down to 11th. Go 14 further back down to 10th. Top three have stretched away. Let me go switch to Soltari's screen so I can actually see this in full effect. You get me? Quamsville and Bob side by side on each other's screens, or no, on one person's screen, and I think that's on Bob's screen. Quamsville holding on to that P1, giving his teammate the space. Sparta entertaining us like they have this season so far. You've got Gelbrad, who I'm on board with, and he's just edged Kazil, but further back, there's the P4 for Kaczynski. He and Sunday Driver pulling away from Jura, who is now looking forward to the next announcement because it is cloudy. What a start from Jura, still up in sixth. Yeah, as Quemswell has dropped Bob, Mika's now in Bob's slipstream. Mika, of course, looking for his first win in quite some time in JL. As there, Kuczynski goes past Sunday Driver with a lovely move around the outside, where he holds the position at least with this huge pack over here for what is, I think, P7, P8, with Mathikil leading it. There's Gelbrad, there's Laguna coming back through the field. Hopefully, no lag issues will strike for him. But instead, I think there was a collision between him and Scabby because they both lag rocketed off the track. And Scabby coming through against Gelbrad and against Phoenix, and he's made a triple boot. The Australian, great debutant so far for him. He's on fire there. Nice going for Mathakil as well for what is eighth place. So this is some esteemed company for him as Laguna looking for the way past Phoenix. He bucks out of the move. Gelbrand coming back. Scabby ahead of Mathakil. Gelbrand against Mathakil. That's a battle we're not. Battle we're accustomed to seeing, I should say, as now I think Axis has decided to give up on the intermediate gamble. Jura still staying out in those intermediates as they're the top three fighting it up. Quemsville has edged off Bob. To Mika comes through to take the race lead. Mika in the Zipex up from fifth into first. I'm not sure how many laps of practice this week the brother has done, but he's on fire. He's on fire. Quemsville coming back at him. The Venezuelan taking the race lead around the outside. What a move, but he lags a little bit there. He lags a little bit there. I think so far, Laguna and Gwenville are probably the two to watch out for in terms of lag. Mika makes the mistake while trying to make the move, which allows Bob to get back past him. Gwenville lagging again. So that's a teleport, and I think that's two teleports. I'm going to leave this. Oh, Mika going for the move again on Bob. Three wide into turn one. I think that lag is a little bit crazy. I will not lie. Jura, Axis, and Casil have all been in and there. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Is that could not have ended any worse. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to call that. We're going to have to call that because that is not looking too good for the race leader at the moment. I'm going to call that a second TP, and if he lags again, that's a third. Yeah, that's unfortunately a DNF. That is a harsh one to call. That is a very harsh one to call. As Bob and Sunday Driver make their pit stops. And now it is going to rain. Yeah, at Friesland. And Grimsville is in a great position, but unfortunately the TPs have meant that he will have to DNF, which is very unfortunate. Kaczynski takes the race lead. Is it precedent to not DNF? Yes, there is. Unfortunately, I know because they did that to me, bro. But no. No, it's not about that. Either way, Mika is now ahead of Gwemsville. You've got Bob in fourth on the soft tires. As it is raining at the present moment. Yeah, I think we'll have to call it again. We'll have to call it again. Kuczynski deciding to stay out on worn softs. He's going to have to come into the pits here. Sorry for the slight mute myself. It's It's all come down to this. So far, the status quo is Mika in front, Grimsville in second, but he has been told DNF due to several instances of teleporting on the track. You've got Go 14 up into third. Bob. I think the strategy has not gone to plan for Bob. He stayed out a bit too long on those softs after coming in right before it rained. And suddenly, the championship that looked so secure is no longer secure for Bob. He's now, like, oh, not just for Bob, but for Sparta as well. They are now suddenly seventh and second. You've got Go up into third, Kaczynski in fourth on the wets, Phoenix up in fifth on those wet tires as well. Gelbrad on course for his best results in JL as well. He's in sixth. Bob now with a recovery tonight from seventh. Laguna, he's down in 13th at the moment behind Kozil, who will probably be a bit angry at how this race has gone. Is now Laguna goes down the inside of Kazil and takes him off the track there. So that will probably be looked at by the stewards as Kazil has called it quits after that, and understandably so. As now Laguna goes after Scabby. They collide, and that's Laguna staying down in 12th. Mathigal in 10th, Sunday 9th, and Jura in 8th. But up ahead, you've got that little fight going on for the race lead in Gwemsville, has now taken the race lead right back from Mika to Mika, as now Kuczynski and Go fight for an all Brazilian fight for third. And Go currently leading that fight. I think he was reeled in there by Kuczynski. Wet tires clearly the better ones to be on at the moment. But the question is anyone going to the end on those intermediate tires or on those wet tires as well? Currently, the one person who can is down in sixth as Kremsvel holds off Mika for the time being. Of course, I think the stewards are going to probably have something to say about that because the DNF should have happened. Then you've got Mika in second. You've got Go. And yeah, bit of a chaotic race so far. Is at the back. Oh, it's not at the back. I think Laguna. No, Laguna and Scabby had their own little incident. We've got Sunday Driver battling with Mathigal and Jura. Great to see Sunday Driver back in the leagues as well, having done a fair few tracks, some of which have been absolutely world class. There goes Jura down the inside of Mathigal. I mean, no, Mathigal down the inside of Jura, and then Jura switching that back. Lovely stuff there from the Polish driver for Alfa Romeos. Here comes Sunday Driver on Mathigal once again. Laguna lurking in the distance, trying to close in on the back after what's been a horrid race. And now there's Sunday Driver right up ahead of Laguna into the pits. Comes Go 14 for his second stop. That's a big call from him. Kaczynski, and now he's onto the wets, maybe to the end, but it really depends on if the track dries out. And now he's going to come out in a bit of a precarious position as there he was sandwiched between Jura and Mathigal. And now Laguna and Sunday go side by side with Go, and Laguna is ahead of Sunday. Go still fighting with his teammate and probably will be expected to be led through over there as now Laguna, yeah, he has overtaken Go 14, but that's not going to hold Go up a little bit in the Dinokas. Now there comes Mathigal, side by side comes Laguna, and Go 14 will probably look at an opportunity to switch it back. The Laguna has been led through by Mathigal, and Go 14 capitalizes on that immediately afterwards. So the Laguna comeback is on. He's now up into eighth. Jura in seventh, closing in on Gelbrad in sixth place. As we're going to keep a close eye on that top two as well, with Quemsville being reeled back in by Mika. Now the cloud's coming out. Go 14 will not be impressed, but his tires are much fresher than those around him. As now Gelbrad has been overtaken here by the Polish driver Jura, who of course commentated AL earlier on. These two have had their own little battles in AL before. Gelbrad and Jura. Jura making a slight mistake into turn one. Gelbrad now side by side and through. But here comes Laguna in eighth. Is he going to try? Is he going to be patient? I think he was edged off the track. Jura then sends it there on Gelbrad. And now here comes Laguna around the outside of the French driver, and he makes the move stick. So that's him up into seventh. The comeback continues. Now he's going for Jura into turn one, and he'll make that stick very easily. Phoenix, still on course for best ever results in JL of P5, is now going to face some serious pressure from those behind him. This quartet behind him, I should say. Because now the rain is coming back here with 7 laps to go. top three at distance clear. I think Go 14 might regret boxing because he's not. I mean, Laguna holding off Jura for the time being. Phoenix coming in for a pit stop. I don't think that was the right call from him, but he'll have much fresher tires than everyone else around him. And Matthew follows suit. No, Sunday Driver follows suit. And maybe that could actually be a good call because they can go on inters all the way to the end. Clouds are coming out, so the track will start drying. Kuczynski might be in a little bit of trouble because of that, but his tires are lap fresher than most of those on inters as Laguna is clear in fifth. He's dropped Jura, Go 14 now trying to get past Gelbrad with those fresher tires, makes that stick very easily. And now it's going to rain again. So maybe the call from Phoenix and Sunday Driver might not actually be the one at the end. It just keeps on toing and froing as Grimsville has lapped Sunday Driver, but his tires are going to be as old as rice that has been left out the pot for 3 days. Lap 23 begins. And I think this is going to be a pretty contentious race for several reasons as we have this scene. Grimsville not lagging anymore, but I still do think there might be something that might be said as now Jura goes side by side with Go 14. Go 14 trying to make the move on the Polish driver. Laguna up ahead, making the mistake, holding up Jura, and that allows Go 14 through. As here comes Gelbrad as well, trying to look for any opportunity that presents itself. And who's that behind? No, I think that was Grimsville actually. No, that's Axis who was lapped. Four-way fight continues. Clouds coming out. Oh, Gelbrad. Oh, no. I think his game froze for a second there, but that's him down to eighth behind. I mean, he's lost contact with that group up ahead completely. And now Mathigil. And yeah, no, Mathigil might actually have a chance, but it's still a long shot. So this battle for P5 continues. Now the two Denokos have pulled away from Jura. 14 now dragging Laguna along. Words that very few would have expected to say in the history of UR2D2. Sometimes I love the stories that come with this game. Lap 25 begins for Quenville. Phoenix actually making the move on Mathigil there, the two Arians. Top positions, Phoenix immediately goes off the track. Quenville with 2 laps to go before he takes what should be the victory. He's just pulled 8 tenths out the bag on Mika, and now look who's coming after that P2. It is Kaczynski. He's almost a second quicker than Mika on that last lap alone, and both of them on worn tires. But Kaczynski with tires that are 1 lap less worn and that are more suitable for these types of conditions, because it is heavy rain, and even though it's going to be lighter rain, the track is still super damp. So Mika's going to have a tough job on his hands to hold off Kaczynski, whose strategy call turns out been perfect for this type of race. Grimsville begins his last lap. It is lap, I mean, he said 33.73. Same with Mika. Kaczynski almost a second quicker than both. And Bob a 33.05. But his race is pretty much done and dusted, which is unfortunate for him. That lag rocket would have absolutely cost him. But either way, oh, here comes Kaczynski on Mika to Mika. Is he going to make the move? We're going to keep a close eye on that, but we're also going to keep a close eye. Oh, Kaczynski down the inside. But speaking of the inside, he makes the move. But up ahead for the first time in history, Venezuela's on top. And it is Grimsville who sends it into P1. He takes the win. Kaczynski beating Mika out at the end. But of course, there is still a little bit of controversy, so it's not over until it's over. Bob in fourth. He'll be gutted with that. Bob, Go 14 in fifth. Great result for Laguna. Good recovery in sixth. Jura in seventh. Gelbrad in eighth ahead of Phoenix. No, Phoenix is going to take it. Gelbrad trying to initiate contact there, but Phoenix does take him. And Sunday Driver in 10th. Then you've got Mathigil. You've got Scabby coming home for his debut. Solid 12th place. Yeah, Quemswell was TPing, so that will be looked at. And then you've got Axis in 13th and Kazil in 14th in what was a relatively controversial race. Oof, 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 oof. But yeah, interesting race, to say the least. Obviously, a little bit of controversy involved. Great drive from Kaczynski to recover into second there with in third, losing out in that position. But that might have actually, it really depends on what the stewards say, but that might have actually ended up being the battle for first place at the end. So, only time will tell what happens. But for now, on track, Wimsfeld taking a brilliant victory. And we've got three different constructors on the podium, too. So, I need to recover from that. Ladies and gents, that's you. Thank you for joining in on JL. Sultari, thank you for for recording, streaming, and goodbye.